Everybody is talking about the new Michael Jackson movie.
Yes, and I already know the question people keep asking.
What?
Is it actually good, or is everybody just curious?
That is exactly the question.
Because this is not a small movie.
Not at all. This is one of those movies where people already have opinions before they even buy a ticket.
Or before they even watch the trailer.
Very true.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Urban English Talk.
I'm Maya.
And I'm EB.
And today we're talking about the new Michael Jackson movie that everybody seems to have an opinion on.
Even the people who have not seen it yet.
Especially those people.
Okay, first question. When you first heard this movie was coming out, what was your reaction?
Honestly, my first thought was, this is either going to be huge or very messy.
That is such a fair answer.
Because with a movie like this, the expectations are massive.
Exactly. Michael Jackson is not just another singer people remember.
Right? He is one of those names that feels bigger than music.
Even younger people know the name, the songs, the dance moves, the style.
So when a movie like this comes out, people are not calm about it.
No, not calm at all.
What about you? When you heard about it, what did you think?
I thought, okay, I need to see a trailer first.
Same.
Because I'm not the kind of person who hears biopic and gets excited right away.
That is real.
Sometimes biopics are great.
And sometimes they feel like a long highlight reel.
Exactly.
Also, for anyone listening, a biopic is just a movie about a real person's life.
Short explanation. Nice.
That's all you need.
So then the trailer comes out and now everybody's online acting like a movie expert.
Yes, 2 minutes of trailer and suddenly everybody has a full opinion.
This will be amazing.
This will be terrible.
This actor looks perfect.
No, the whole movie feels off.
That is the internet.
Always.
Okay, let me ask you directly. Would you watch it in theaters?
Maybe.
That is not a real answer.
No, it is. My answer is maybe, but I want to know the vibe first.
The vibe?
Yes, I want to know if it feels big in a good way or big in a fake way.
That actually makes sense.
Because some movies are big and exciting.
And some are just loud.
Exactly.
I think I would probably watch it in theaters.
Really?
Yes. If I'm going to watch a music movie, I want the sound, the crowd, the big screen, all of it.
Okay, that I understand.
A movie like this should feel like an event.
That is true.
But I also get why people are waiting.
Yes, because people do not just want a famous name, they want a good movie.
Exactly.
And right now, Rotten Tomatoes is kind of telling the whole story.
Yes, critics are pretty cold on it.
But audiences seem way more into it.
That split is very interesting.
Very. It usually means the movie is giving regular viewers something they enjoy, even if critics are not impressed.
And a lot of the positive talk seems to be around Jafar Jackson and the performance side of the movie, while the critic side is saying it looks polished but does not go very deep.
That kind of makes sense to me.
Why?
Because some people go to a movie like this for the story.
And other people go for the feeling.
Exactly. The music, the energy, the performance, the nostalgia.
Good word.
Yes, nostalgia. That feeling when something reminds you of an older time.
That is a big part of movies like this.
Huge part.
Okay, let's be honest. If you walked out of the theater after watching it, what would make you happy?
Simple. I want to feel like I watched a real movie, not just a playlist with costumes.
That is such a good way to say it.
Because if the music is great but the movie feels empty, people notice.
Very fast.
What about you?
I want to feel something.
Like emotional?
Yes. I want to walk out and think, okay, that stayed with me.
That is fair.
I do not need every movie to be perfect, but I want something memorable.
Exactly.
And I think that is why this movie is getting so much attention. People are not just asking, is it good?
They are asking, what kind of good is it?
Yes. Is it great performance, weak movie good?
Is it fun night at the theater good?
Is it I'll wait for streaming good?
That is a very real category.
A very important category.
Okay, let's do something fun.
Go.
I'm going to give you a sentence, and you tell me if it sounds true.
Okay.
People already decided how they feel about this movie before it came out.
Absolutely true.
Music biopics are always overhyped.
Not always, but often.
Fair.
Your turn.
Okay.
This movie only works if the main performance works?
Yes. 100%.
Exactly.
Because if the person playing Michael does not convince people, the whole thing falls apart.
And that seems to be the one thing even a lot of mixed reactions agree on. Jafar Jackson is the main reason people are paying attention to it.
That makes me more curious, honestly.
Same,
Not fully convinced.
but curious.
Exactly.
That is probably the best way to describe my feeling too.
Okay, let's talk about the kind of friend who would text you about this movie.
Oh, I know this friend.
This friend sends one message like, "Are we watching this or not?"
Yes, no greeting, no context, just pressure.
Exactly.
And then you have to answer.
So what would you text back?
I would say, maybe, I want to hear a few opinions first.
That sounds like you.
It does.
I would say, I'm curious, but I do not know if I want theater curious or home curious.
That is actually funny.
Because those are different feelings.
They really are.
Theater curious means I want to spend money, get dressed, leave the house, and give this movie my full attention.
Home curious means maybe on a couch later with snacks.
Exactly.
Honestly, that might be the real review system now.
Forget stars. Just ask, theater curious or home curious?
That is kind of brilliant.
Thank you.
Okay, last question before we wrap up. Do you think this movie is more about the story or more about the event of seeing Michael Jackson on screen again?
I think for a lot of people, it is the event.
I agree.
And that is not always a bad thing,
No. Sometimes people want a movie to be an experience first,
especially with music.
especially with someone this famous.
But if the story is thin, that is where critics usually start getting annoyed.
Which is pretty much what the Rotten Tomatoes critic reaction sounds like right now, while the audience response sounds much more forgiving and much more emotional about the whole thing.
So basically, this is one of those you may have to decide for yourself movies.
Yes, which honestly makes people want to watch it even more,
That is true.
because now it is not just a movie.
It becomes a conversation.
Exactly. And that is why everybody's talking about it. Okay, final answer. Right now, today, are you watching it?
Yes,
In theaters?
maybe.
Still maybe?
Yes, I am consistent.
Fine. My answer is yes, and probably theaters.
Good. Then one of us is brave.
And one of us is careful.
That is why this podcast works.
Exactly.
All right, let's wrap up.
Today we talked about the new Michael Jackson movie, the hype around it, the trailer feeling, and why people seem so split.
Especially on Rotten Tomatoes.
Critics are cooler on it.
Audiences are warmer.
And that usually means one thing.
You probably have to decide for yourself.
Now, we want to hear from you.
Would you watch the new Michael Jackson movie?
Theater curious or home curious?
Tell us in the comments.
And if you like this conversation, subscribe to Urban English Talk.
Like the video, share it with a friend, and come back for the next episode.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.